Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Ulduar. Sorry, got a bit of turned a bit into Yogg Saron there for a moment. So I know what you're thinking. Neeks, why are we back in Ulduar? Well, that's because in the process of me trying to collect as many of the legendaries as I can that are still in the game, since, well, there are some that are no longer in the game, there is one from Ulduar that I had not acquired. Believe it or not, this is actually what I was trying to get more so than the mount here. So, if you don't know what I'm referring to, it is this right here. Val'anyr, the hammer of the ancient kings. This right here. Look at that. This is a one-handed mace that, based on what I can tell here, is intended for healing paladins, priests, shamans, monks, and druids. So keep in mind, monks were not in the game at the time that Wrath was out, so... But you could definitely see a Mistweaver using it, so... Because you can also see the equip there. So anyways... You're probably wondering, well, how do you get it? Well, you have to come here on one of those classes, and every time you defeat a boss here in this raid, you have a chance, a small chance, of a fragment of the mace to drop. Basically what happens is you have to collect 30 of these fragments. And again, the drop rate for them is not that high. And once you collect all of them, you try to put them together, but they're still, like, they're like this. The unbound fragments of Val'anyr. You've been able to put them together, but they're not bound together. They're kind of, like, not really able to stay together and, like, really have their power back. So, I went to the Archivum here in the raid where Braun is, and this is where when I brought the fragments, this is where I got this quest. Which is, the Archivum Consul has hinted at a possible way to rebind the fragments of Val'anyr. You must get the fragments inside the physical form of the being known as Yogg Saron. It sounds like a long shot, but for an artifact of such power, you think the risk might just be worth it. So, obviously I wanted to do this on my Shaman, because it's a one-handed mace, and Shaman is my main. But like I said, if you main a holy paladin, if you main a priest, like a holy priest, or even death priest, if you main a resto druid, or even a Mistweaver monk, by all means, come here and farm this, so you can have this for yourself. So here's where things get a little interesting and complicated. Throw the shattered pieces of Val'anyr into Yogg Saron's maw while he is casting Deafening Roar, and defeat Yogg Saron and recover the reforged hammer of ancient kings. This can only be completed in heroic mode, and only if at least one Ulduar Watcher is not assisting you. So, for those of you who don't know, it's a little deceptive that it says heroic mode, because technically there is no, you can't actually have a heroic difficulty set here. There's only 2 difficulties for Ulduar. This was part of the brilliant design that they did when creating Ulduar back in the day, and why today it gets such high praise from people who played back then and today. There was just 10 man and 25 man. That's it. No normal, no heroic, just 10 and 25. And depending on what you did against certain bosses would trigger a hard mode version of those bosses, including here. So, for those of you who know how Ulduar works, the keepers, up there, you could ask them to be down here and provide you with certain buffs. If you have, like, 1 to no keepers down here, it's considered the hard mode version of this boss. So, I double-checked the way Yogg Saron works, because you might be going, well, what's Deafening Roar? Especially if you come down here and you hardly ever pay attention to the mechanics. So you got to go down here to abilities. Hard mode. Stage 3. So this is something that can only happen during Stage 3, which is after you go into the vision and, stun his mind, and then he spits you out. And then you come out here for the third one, which is the look upon the true face of death. That's my favorite quote from Yogg Saron, by the way. Hard mode. Battling Yogg-Saron without the aid of some or all of the Keepers of Ulduar for assistance is possible but extremely dangerous. The True Face of Death. This is where he does this that it's referring to. Deafening Roar. Deals 29,000 physical damage and silences enemies for 4 seconds. So according to the quest, while he is casting Deafening Roar is when I need to cast these into his mouth. And once I do that, and he gets a certain debuff, because I double-checked other videos that were showing this, he will get a certain kind of either buff or debuff, and that's when I can just go ahead and nuke him and be able to recover it, and that should lead to me getting the mace. So, I'm hoping I do this right. Otherwise, if I mess this up, and I kill him before I can actually do it right, I'm going to have to wait a whole nother week in order to finish this off. So, what do you say we go take down... I mean, Nyloth is out, so let's kill a different old god, shall we? Man, you know, I've heard stories about what it was like for people to try and beat... not Zero Keeper, they called it Zero Light, because basically every Keeper represented a light. I've heard that back in the day, trying to defeat Yogg-Saron on 25 hard mode without any of the Keepers was insane. It was insane how difficult it was. Now, I've somewhat gotten a taste of what it was like when Time Walking Ulduar is out. But that, keep in mind, it was also, I believe they had to rebalance this raid and that difficulty because it was just too hard. Like, I heard the world first for that version of Yogg-Saron was not easy.
Soon be upon us. Focus your anger and hatred on his minions.
Sure, Sarah. Sure.
Target you. Yes! Show them no mercy! Give no pause to your attacks! I am the lucid dream. The monster in your nightmares.
I love the change of voice.
Of 1,000 faces. Cower before my true form. Bow down before the god of death. Madness will consume you.
Here we go.
Bad news, sire.
Tremble, mortals, before the coming of the end.
The clans are united under
Alright,
Black
he's stunned.
this assault.
Here we go.
They will stand together until Stormwind has fallen. Gul'dan.
That's just the brain, so I should be fine.
Face of death, and know that your end comes
The
soon.
Blackrock clan will be trying to take the eastern wall.
1,000 deaths.
Come on, cast it. Cast it, come on.
We will hold until the reinforcements come. As long as men with
Come on. I'm losing my sanity here. Deafening Roar in 5 seconds. Come on.
York leaders agree with your assessment.
Silence
Eternal
soon.
suffering awaits. Your petty quarrels only make me stronger.
Yes. All right. That's it. All right. Let's do it.
Your fate is sealed. The end of days is finally upon you, and all who inhabit this miserable little seedling. Ului Bisarak, Gargerong, Wish.
Whoosh. I always thought that was funny. That was the last sound he makes. Whoosh. There it is. The reforged hammer. I'll take that. I'll take that too. No mount. So that is now 22 attempts, I believe. Let me double check that here. Yep, 22 attempts on Mimiron's head. Like I said, this is what I was really wanting, more so than the mount. But if I got it, I thought, wow, wouldn't it be amazing if I do this and be able to pull that off? So let's go back to the antechamber. And we'll head back to the Arcavum over here, and then I'll be able to get my mace. This may end up being one of my new go-to transmogs, but not when I do enhancement. Probably when I do resto. I mean, after all, that's what it was intended for resto shamans and other healing specs. I think it's a pretty cool looking mace. So pretty nice run. Let me go ahead and... There we go. There we go, a chest guard that I didn't have. Nice. So now I've got 4 of the 10-player set and 3 of the 25 set. You can see I still have a lot of work to do on all the sets for the shamans, but the problem is I'm not too fond of all that. Let me look at this. That doesn't speak shaman to me. Not like that. There are just some sets I'm like, you know, some are okay. And then I'm like, like this one here. It's like, what? These... I will say, like, those look nice. I mean, that's kind of cool. This is one of my go-to, you know, it's Thrall set. And then this one, I was just kind of like, huh? Anyways. Object integrity confirmed. Please hold while solidified residue is removed. I've got it, and I now have it as a transmog. Oh, that audio cue from the music that you hear from the announcement trailer for Ulduar. That was perfect timing. All right. Gonna tweet that out. Alright. So that's pretty much all there is to it. If you can just come here and farm the 30 fragments, hopefully get them to all drop. Once you have all 30, click on them to try and combine them, and then you come back here. That's where you pick up the quest. And then if you have already beaten Yogg-Saron, just wait until reset, and then you can come here and do what I did. And you just have to kind of be patient and wait for him to cast it. Just make sure you don't kill him after you get out of the vision. And that's pretty much all there is to it. And then you get your legendary mace. So, and now that we can be able to transmog legendaries, that just makes it even more fun. So, as far as I know, in terms of legendaries that are in the game, at least before the Legion legendaries were added, there is pretty much only one more to get. And I'm still working on that with my rogue. In fact, I actually at some point need to go back to my rogue and do another run of Dragon Soul to work on getting those legendary daggers. And I will see what I can do about actually showing you guys the finale of that one as well. So I will see you guys next time.